Cannabis Common Sense, the show that tells the truth about marijuana and the politics behind its prohibition.
Hello and welcome to another exciting edition of Cannabis Common Sense. We have a great show for you tonight. The producers of the movie Hempsters Plant the Seed are here. Michael Henning and Rod Pittman, along with our joint host, Mr. Casper Leach, and standing by in the wings, ready to bring us some outstanding music, is John Cornett and Jan Sue. How are you folks tonight?
Good, Paul. Good to see you.
Good to see you again. We'll be back in just a few minutes after we bring on our infamous Dancing Cannabis Leaves.
I feel the force.
Aren't they cute? They're dancing leaf to leaf again. So we have John Cornett and Jan Sue. How do you begin, folks?
We are many, we are strong. Can so many be so wrong? Doesn't anyone really care why we give in to so many lies? Can it be that we're alright? Can we be peaceful through this fight? All we really want to see is humanity set free. We are one big family. Once united, we are free. Now's the time to make a stand. Do the best that each one can. Once awakened, we will see the potential of infinity. Abundance will be the norm when we are finally through this storm. We are one big family. Once united, we are free. Now's the time to make a stand. Do the best that each one can. We are one big family. Once united, we are free. Now's the time to make a stand. Do the best that each one can.
It's John Cornett and Jan Sue. Thank you, folks. More. All right. I'd like to introduce Michael Henning. Welcome, Michael, from the great state of Texas.
Thanks
and
for having me.
Casper, welcome back. And you, Rod, welcome back, too.
Good to see you,
Always
man.
wanted to meet this guy. Rod, Michael Henning.
Michael Henning, good to see you.
So you two have produced this movie.
Directed,
Produced,
and
produced.
he directed Normal Life.
I see. Okay.
Let's
get it straight.
Let's get it right, because it's totally different.
Yeah. And so tell our audience about Hempsters Plant the Seed.
Okay, let's see. My son was 5 days old, and I had our
How old
first.
is he now?
15.
Okay.
And we had our first interview with Woody we were invited to come do this interview, which I didn't think was going to happen anyway. And we missed our plane. So we missed our transfer. And I was like, you know, it was all over a turkey sandwich. And I went, we just missed a plane to interview Woody Harrelson over a turkey sandwich, and we're going to wait for 4 hours in the airport, and he's not going to be there when we get there. And we got there, and he was there. And I give credit where credit's due, but Woody has delivered every time, I think because we didn't make it the Woody Harrelson story. He's a part of a movement, and I think he appreciated that we didn't make it all about him. And the movement's here and out there, and it's everybody. So I admired that about him at that moment, and still do. And here we are 15 years, 14 years later, and we have full distribution now, thanks to Cinema Libre and new video, and it's out there. So we're getting it going.
And so you started working on the movie as well?
Yeah. Mikey and I, there used to be a place called the Avid, I think it was a film camp up here in Portland.
Yeah, 6-week grant.
Yeah, and Mikey was in on a 6-week grant, and I had no idea. I was working on a Doors-related movie, a documentary, and I heard a Texas accent in the room, and I went, hey man, you know, are you from Texas? It sounds like you're from Dallas. And
he knows the specific city.
Yeah, exactly. And we became friends, and he came over to the house, and we began to talk about things we might do together. And we followed each other's different films. I had a film called Obscura, and he had Hempsters that he was putting together. And we began to go to film festivals together as works in progress. And then Mikey came to me and said, hey, can you help me, you know, let's take this to another level. And we worked on it for another, what, 13 years, something like that. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's ready when it's ready.
Time,
you know, it's like if you open a Scotch company, you got to wait for the first bottle to age 14 years, and then you got the next one coming out every year after that. That's the way I rationalized myself through the process.
But we got Hempsters came out, what was it?
June 28th.
June 28th, and Normal Life came out August 16th.
By chance.
And the two films resonate between each other because they're both in the cannabis community.
So Hempsters obviously concentrates on industrial hemp, where a Normal Life is more about full legalization.
We covered both bases, although we did include Gatewood Galbraith in Hempsters, which, you know, we know what he stands for, and that's the
full legalization.
Yeah, and he says it in the film. He says, I think it should be legalized in all of its forms, and beautiful, you know.
So we are taking viewers' phone calls tonight, and our number here, if you have a question or comment about legalizing and regulating adult marijuana use, restoring industrial hemp, and helping medical marijuana patients, then call us at that number there on your screen. It's 503-288-4448, and we have a caller standing by. Welcome to the show, caller. Welcome to the show, caller. Let's, I think our speakers just need to come up a little bit. Say that again. I think our speakers need to come up a little bit. Say that again. Turn your TV down.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll just walk out of the room. How about if I do that?
That'll work better. Welcome to the show.
Okay. Hi.
I'm listening to myself
Thank
with the delay there. So
I didn't
how are you
find
tonight?
the mute button. I didn't find the mute button fast enough. I'm so sorry.
It's all right. You got a question or a comment?
Yeah, what I was wondering is why is it taking Oregon so long to do what other states have done and
What do you mean?
made it like easier for the medical marijuana to come through?
I think Portland's #1.
Yeah, Portland's doing pretty well. You're in Dallas, Texas, right?
Yeah. Believe me, this guy right here is an Oregon champion. You should know that this is the freest city in America.
Tell them why, Mikey.
Well, you can actually, if you have your card, you can get on. You can go into the airport with 1.5 pounds of medicinal marijuana and get on the plane. There's no city in America that allows that to happen. Be careful where you land, but I think 99% of that's attributed to Paul Stanford. You know,
well, I've been out here a long time. It isn't just me, I can tell you that.
Oh, he always plays himself down.
It's a whole bunch of us. There's no doubt about that.
Good man.
But, you know, I think what she's talking about is commercial access for medical patients.
Oh.
And so the Oregon law says explicitly there'll be no sales, and that patients can only reimburse their growers for the cost of expenses, not including labor. So it's the way the law was written and drafted here, and the way the legislature amended it, that has limited the opening of dispensaries. And then, you know, we voted on opening dispensaries twice. In 2004, we had ballot measure 33.
Exactly.
In 2010, we had ballot measure 74. Both of those were, their drafters' bias was to remove all penalties from the growers and the sellers without regulating it very effectively. So the voters of the state rejected it, not because they are against patient access, but because of the way those laws were written that basically protected the growers and people that might have an interest in the black market even more than they protected patients. So that was the problem with those two bills. Now we have an initiative now to just completely legalize cannabis and hemp, and we're up over 50,000 signatures right now. It would allow anybody to grow their own. It would allow people who want to sell it to get a license to grow it, process it, and sell it. And it would regulate that market. It would allow unregulated industrial hemp. In fact, 2% of the profits from the sale of cannabis through the state license system would go to support industrial hemp fuel, fiber, and food industries and promote them.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. And so we have the petition in circulation right now. You can come down to our office. There's the address down there, 2712
Yes, I see that.
Northeast Sandy Boulevard. If you go to our website.
2712 Northeast Sandy Boulevard.
Exactly, exactly. We're there 10 to 5, 5 or 6 days a week. So you can also go to our website at cannabistaxact.org. That's cannabistaxact.org. You can print out a petition, a single signature petition, sign that and mail it into our office. You can make a donation. You can fill out the volunteer form, and we'll send you petitions to gather your friends' signatures as well.
Deadline.
Okay,
So,
that sounds awesome. Thank you very much, and I totally appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, can
Thanks.
I say something, Paul?
I'm going to tell you something. I lost my husband to cancer in 2010,
Well, my condolences.
and he benefited very much from smoking marijuana. It wasn't like legalized the way he was doing it, but it helped him a lot, and
I'm glad he could find some solace in that
I know.
tough time.
Okay, well, I will get off your air now.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. Keep watching and help us with that petition drive, because that would just end adult marijuana prohibition, I believe, restore industrial hemp, and turn the whole economy around.
In Oregon,
Yeah.
specifically.
With the petition.
Yeah, I would just like to interject something here.
Sure.
You know, the name, the cannabis, or you're calling it the Cannabis Tax
Oregon
Act,
Cannabis Tax Act. That's
is
right.
based on the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the way I use it. The analogy is it's like coming into a film, and the film's halfway through, and we don't know how we got here. But I mean, people need to pull back and go, wait a minute. At some point in history, the government stepped in and said they have the right to tell us what seeds we can plant. I mean, the thing that we're doing, we're being so peaceful about it, but it's insanity. When you really think about it, they've taken the right upon themselves to tell us what seeds we can plant. Gatewood Galbraith woke me up to this. Just think about it. What seeds we can plant? We can debate processing something in a laboratory, but when the government steps in and says you can't plant this seed, then they've taken the right to say you can't plant any seed, and that crosses the line of just basic common law. I mean, it's insanity. You need to get your mother, your grandmother, your brother, your sister, anybody that wants freedom, whether they smoke marijuana or not, and wake them up and say, they've taken the freedom away from us to grow a seed. Let's go down there en masse, get this petition signed. It should be done in 2 days. If people knew what it represented, they would do it immediately. The 80,000 signatures that are necessary should be done automatically, whether you smoke pot or not smoke. Just bring back the right to the people to plant any plant that we want. We're the boss. We're the people. They work for us.
That's right.
We bow down to them like they're
The sovereign, the ruler.
Rabbit,
the
man.
people.
Come on, let's get over this.
What I think is cool about it is how many groups of people get together and say, taxes, take our money, please, we want to give it to you, Uncle Sam. We really want to come together and say, here's a lot of cash out of my pocket, voluntarily.
Take it out of the black market and put it in the mainstream economy.
That's the cool thing about it. We're saying, please, taxes, where there's a lot of people, because April 15th is coming around, who are dodging their taxes and looking for loopholes and trying to get out of paying their fair share and all that. And we're saying, look, we're buying this stuff anyway. Why don't you please take some more money out of my pocket and tax me?
It's not millions, it's billions of dollars.
That's the cool thing about it. I mean, not the government should be going, wow, here's citizens of our country saying, please take our tax dollars. You should be jumping up and down there in Washington going, let's sign this bill now.
Yeah. Well, you know, did you want to say something?
Yeah. Paul, I've got a question as to how we can get these. Is it 70,000 signatures?
Well,
that
right
we need?
now we have just over 50,000 signatures.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
need 87,213 valid registered Oregon voter signatures to put this thing on the ballot. So because some signatures aren't valid, they're illegible, or they aren't registered to vote, we have to turn in excess of that. So we want to turn in at least 120, preferably 140,000 signatures.
Okay.
So we still have about 20 weeks to go till July 6th to gather the total number of signatures, turn it into the state, and then that forces a vote on this question. You can find out more about that at cannabistaxact.org.
Okay, so the question that I have is, how can we use the time value that we have in between now and where we've got to get and leverage that to the greatest portion possible in terms of, you said that someone can go to your website, they can download the form, they can fill it out.
Print it out, sign it, and send it in.
Okay, so what I'm trying to figure out is, how can we use social media? Because whether you consider yourself a Democrat, a Republican, an independent, a libertarian, a Martian, whoever you are, you have all of these people connected to your friends, family, and co-workers that are linked through your LinkedIn, your Twitter, your Facebook. Somehow, some way, you need to post this stuff into your space so that people can share it, so that they can download this stuff in the state of Oregon. And if you do not live in Oregon, but you have friends and family that know people that live in Oregon, you need to get this into your social network. So by sharing it and tweeting it and Facebooking it and texting it, or whatever you're doing with it, somehow we need to use social networks to get this number done.
We have a Facebook page, Cannabis Tax Act, and so you can find us out there on Facebook. You can get real easy URL to remember is hemp.org. That's HEMP.org. If you just scroll down, you'll see the petition information.
Have you put together a slick TV commercial for it yet?
No, we haven't done that, but
that might help.
We'll do it right now.
We'll do it right now.
That sounds like a good idea. We have a caller who's been standing by patiently. Welcome to the show, caller.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I wanted to let you know that I'm a veteran,
Uh-huh.
and that in my annual medical examination, they did a lung function test on me.
Uh-huh.
I've been smoking pot for about 35 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I have no lung problems, no cancer, no emphysema, no lung problems at all.
Great.
But I just wanted to share that with people and let them know that smoking marijuana will not mess up your lungs. And my name is Don. You probably remember me. I'll take your comment off the air.
All right.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that you don't smoke as much as you would of any other product. You just need a few hits.
And it's good for you. It's not like tobacco. It's
Right.
not radioactive. It's not toxic. Nicotine is a poison.
Yep.
And where cannabis has never poisoned anybody, there are kids that die every year from chewing on a couple of cigarette butts, And
And
so
it turns on a chemical in your brain that your brain needs to make your brain happy. So people live longer, cut back on stress and heart attack and stroke diseases. So
and really we don't
puff up, baby.
We really don't even need to validate it. We have to remember that our founding fathers established us as an agrarian society with freedom as the main point. You're free.
And they grew hemp. You know, George Washington grew hemp. He has entries in his diary saying to separate the males from the females and cut down the males and leave the females. Well, there's only one reason you do that, folks, and that's to grow higher potency medicine. And Thomas Jefferson smuggled hemp seeds from Italy to the United States, and he invented a device to process hemp fiber.
And
Thomas Jefferson, and he said he published it anonymously in the public papers to forestall any interloping entrepreneurs from holding it back from the people. That's what he wrote in his public papers.
And maybe they were cloning too, so they can also maintain good strands, so that we could also have good paper in our country and make good cloth and not have to be dependent on.
And it was an illuminant.
Overseas.
They took the oil from the seeds and pressed it and used that oil for their oil lamps. It wasn't mainly whale oil out there that people were lighting their lamps with. It was mainly hemp seed oil.
Yeah, I mean, let's face the facts. We're preaching to the choir, but for anybody who doesn't know this, and I've done my research, and I would like to know if there's another one, but as far as I can find, there's only one plant on the earth that produces food, fiber, fuel, and medicine. If there's another one, I'd like to know what it is, and we'll support that one too. But how can the United States government say that they've implemented a plan called the Federal Eradication Program, which is designed to eradicate the plant from the earth, the most potent, powerful, useful plant, to eradicate it from the earth? Now, on Hempsters Plant the Seed, we put a camera guy out at the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation where they were growing it on their sovereign land. And I've read the Treaty of 1868. It says, put down your weapons and grow crops, but not that one.
It doesn't say that in the treaty. They didn't ban it until, right. Now they say not that.
But it said grow crops. I read that part.
Yeah.
And the point is that the Drug Enforcement Agency takes it upon themselves to interpret that law, which is called treaty abrogation, and cross into the sovereign land and chop down their hemp plants based on the 1973 Controlled Substance Act. Now that's translating treaty law. And they come out there to eradicate the plant. We filmed it. We had to put a guy out there for 3 months. We caught him. They're not eradicating anything. They chop it down with weed eaters. The roots are in the ground. The seeds fall down. They get $1.05 per plant. Now that's in an acre. There's 5,000 plants. They grow like bamboo next to each other. A Canadian farmer gets $450 an acre. That's like corn. But the Drug Enforcement Agency gets $1. That's $5,000 per acre. I mean, they're making so much money off of eradicating industrial hemp. And by the way, Andrea Herman, who runs the HIA, president, you can test this. 0.1 THC is like, imagine a wine with 0.1 alcohol. I mean, it's ridiculous to even talk about getting high. And they're making mountains of money. And only 1% of what they're turning in is actual smokable marijuana. So, we need to awaken to this fact and realize that we're being bulldozed by so-called, laws that are protecting us and stop it. We need to stop it.
We have another phone caller standing by. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hi, guys.
Howdy.
I just wanted to comment on how easy it was to go to Cannabis Common Sense, to CannabisTaxAct.com and print out
.org.
And print out a single signature petition and put it in an envelope and mail it. And I want to challenge all the 60-somethings out there. Come on, all of we guys that smoked it back when. I want to challenge you. Get on that computer, go to that website, print it out, sign it, and mail it in. I mean, when you guys started last fall doing this, I thought, wow, they're really starting early. And here we are now at this point, and now we should be getting anxious.
Yeah, well, we are. We've got 20 paid petitioners on the street working across the state, and we've just in the process of hiring 20 more. So we're gung-ho about putting this on, and we're going to make sure it happens.
Bring out the challenge. As a matter of fact, anybody that has any fear about this, investigate it. Portugal has legalized all drugs. Check it out. It's true. It's real. They've done it. And the people aren't running crazy in the street. There's nothing that has happened out of the ordinary. As a matter of fact, the drug use has gone down in most of the areas, like in teenage usage. All drugs. Now, we're not talking about drugs here. We're talking about a plant. If we can't legalize or allow ourselves to grow a plant, then, what are we afraid of? check into it. Look at Portugal. They're proof. There's the test ground.
They are afraid of the rich people going broke. It's follow the money, you know that. It's a direct competition to petrochemical companies.
This would make the rich people richer. It might not make the petroleum industry, but we could make more petroleum and ethanol out of hemp than you can have any other plant.
Then let's let like the lady said on the phone, you know, take the petition you just signed, scan it, put it up on your Facebook page, put the link.
Yeah. You can just lift the PDF file and put it on your page.
Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn.
Yeah, and we just printed 50,000 of those single signature sheets. So if you can't print them out on your home computer for any reason, give us a call. You can call us at 503-235-4606. We'll be happy to mail some of these petitions to you. We can, you can go to stores in town. We have them at the Third Eye on Hawthorne. That's owned by the late great Jack Harris family, and you can pick them up there, or come by our office and pick them up. We also printed 20,000 paid petition sheets, so we have plenty of petitions to put this thing on the ballot, already printed and in our office. And if you don't want to call us, you can just print it out from the internet, like you said just a moment ago, ma'am.
All right, 60-somethings, get out there, do it, get it signed, and get it mailed in. We can't leave this up to the kids. Come on.
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's the tip of the iceberg. That's the tip of the iceberg. Go into Whole Foods and buy one hemp product a day. Look into Versativa. It's a company that sells practically all hemp products. When Walmart will take, they never did it before, but you can buy hemp products at Walmart because they don't care about the politics. They just care about who's going to buy what. I had a guy tell me once, I don't care about the politics. How many BTUs does it produce? And it more than any other plant. And he got into it. But the point is engage. You know, go out there and buy the hemp beer. I think you sell that here in Portland.
There's a number of breweries here in the state of Oregon that produce a hemp-based beer.
Whole Foods in Texas, when I started this, carried 0 hemp products. And I said, well, I want some hemp products. Where are they? And they said, too controversial. You go to Hemp Foods and Whole Foods, Hemp Foods, I like that. Yeah. Go to Whole Foods in Texas now. Every aisle has something. Hemp ice cream, hemp bread, hemp chips, de-hulled hemp seeds, hemp seed oil,
hemp shampoo, and hemp soap.
It's everywhere because I went in and asked for it, and 5 years ago they didn't carry any. Now it's on every aisle. So engage it, you know, embrace it, make the point by just buying one product a day, and it makes all the difference, man. That's all they care about.
My microphone fell off, but I'm going to say it again.
Right,
I'm going to be like a broken record tonight, man. I want everybody that uses Facebook, uses Twitter, uses any kind of social media to constantly go online and link to the show, how to get the petition, how to sign it, how to send it in.
We have another caller. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hello.
Howdy.
How you guys doing?
Very well. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. This is Russ.
Hey, Russ.
And yeah, you know, I just got done the last few days watching on YouTube. It's called Hemp for Fuel.
Yeah.
And Casper Leach is the host of that.
Yeah.
And
well, that's Time for Hemp, but there's signs in the back that say Hemp for Fuel.
But if you go to YouTube and you go to YouTube and you type in Hemp for Fuel Part 1 or Part 2, I think everyone should watch that. It's really a really good information about how...
You did that about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
That one I did in 2007.
Oh, so it's really new. Oh,
yeah, it's got Gatewood in it.
All right.
I'm glad you like it. It's got Gatewood in it, and we got T. Boone Pickens in there. We got quotes from Al Gore in there, and we got all kinds of great music. And it's 2 hours of Gatewood guy. We're talking about the
hemp biodiesel.
Well, give it that spill that you're working on.
The petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate, elite, fascist
sons of bitches.
Yep,
he's talking about them and how that if we just made this plant legal, it would end all of our problems, brother. Anyway, I'm glad you like it. Thank you so much for letting people know about it.
And I think everyone should watch it, and they'll probably learn something about what's going on. And thank you guys for what you guys are doing. And Casper Leach is on at 10 o'clock here in Portland on
baby.
American Free Radio, and it's an awesome show.
Thank
you can catch Paul on Thursdays.
Yeah,
So,
you've been
anyways,
listening, Russ.
I'll
Great.
see you guys tonight. I'm going to come by and see you guys. So.
Great. See you
Yep,
then.
You guys, so watch that on YouTube. It's really I learned a lot, so you'll learn a lot. So,
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Hey, let me toss one thing out there.
Please.
There's one person in the United States of America who's probably taken the most risk of anybody in our country. His name is Alex Whiteplume. He took it upon himself to be the singular focal point on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation to go ahead and plant the hemp crop at the risk of being incarcerated like nobody else. They came with guns in his face and chopped down the first crop, and he went back and did it again. I said, Alex, why don't you go ahead and fill out the forms and get the by the way, there is a form you can fill out and actually get permission, so they say, from the government. And he said, well, if I fill the form out, then I'm admitting that I have to acquiesce to their rules and I'm sovereign. But if anybody can go on Facebook or just Google his name, Alex Whiteplume, if we could focus on the Pine Ridge Indian Reservation and that one man and support him in every way possible, write letters to your congressman, do whatever you can do to support Alex Whiteplume, he could be the model community that proves the point of what this crop can do. And he's out there, he has sovereignty. They have their own police force, their own language, their own schools, everything to prove sovereignty. And he can't grow industrial hemp that has no THC at all, 0.1. So check into Alex Whiteplume, Lakota Nation is what we like to call it, and support that man in any way you can.
You know, we are streaming this live on the internet right now at ustream.tv. And if you're watching it out there on the internet, you can text in a question to us, the panel, on the chat function there on Ustream. And one of the people who's been working with Cinema Libre and distributing both of your movies is Stephanie Bishop. So she has a question for you.
All right.
Hempsters was quite a journey. What was the most surprising fact you learned about industrial hemp? Rod? Put you on the spot.
Oh, man, you are putting me on the spot.
The most surprising fact you learned about hemp. Thing that surprised you more than anything else.
Probably that it is the fiber fuel medicine.
Yeah.
Food, fiber, fuel, medicine.
Food, fiber, fuel, medicine.
No other plant.
No other plant.
Yeah. It produces more fuel, more fiber, more medicine and
I don't think there's any plant that produces all four.
No, there's not.
If there is, I'd like to know. And I mean, I'm ready to be educated, but right now I don't know of one.
This is what blew my mind, and I'm like, okay, wait a minute, let me see if I can get my head wrapped around this. And so when I really processed what they were saying, I'm thinking, okay, so what are we doing? And now here we are. And that truly was the one thing that blew my mind, was the food, fiber, fuel, medicine. What's the one I'm missing? Food, fiber, fuel, medicine.
That's
it.
That's
you
it.
got it.
You know, I have to inject one thing here that shocked me, is that it produces more fuel than any plant on earth, more than corn, more than sugarcane, and it produces two fuels at the same time.
Yeah.
From
ethanol
the herd,
and biodiesel.
ethanol and biodiesel, at the same time. You're getting two fuels. And, you know, we all learn as we go and we grow, and I say prove all things. And I think ultimately hydrogen might be the ultimate fuel, but in the transformation from petrochemicals into a new era, the bridge is hemp. Ethanol and biodiesel can be grown. Look at Brazil. It's proof. They completely got off of the petrochemical grid by sugarcane. You can debate.
We can do it with hemp. If only our government would. And the thing is, the people who helped make it illegal, who created this reefer madness myth that said, you know, if you use marijuana, you go crazy and kill your family and friends. They knew what they were doing. They were making certain that they didn't have to compete with a natural product in the natural cycle. Our good, late, great friend Gatewood Galbraith called it the synthetic subversion of the natural cycle. And it's never been about drugs. That's just a smokescreen. Pardon the pun. It's really about money and power and the continued centralization of economic and political control.
See, that's very important.
The petrochemical industries don't want us to grow our own fuel. They want us to continue to be locked into the petrochemical, pharmaceutical, military, industrial, transnational, corporate, elite fascist sons of bitches. Right. Another thing we learned from the late, great Gatewood Galbraith, who just passed away back on January 4th, about 2 months ago right now.
One of my, I'd say, my hero, my
mentor
focal point
for our movement.
This man had it all, man. He had the courage and the guts to. I remember,
and the insight.
And the insight. I mean,
He had the third eye.
He definitely had the third.
Yeah, he was eloquent.
He's really the one who taught me. You should get his book. His book says it all, and it's called The Synthetic Subversion. But
the last free man in America.
There was a moment in history where this happened before we were born, where this powers met in the middle, and our founding fathers wanted an agrarian society, and at that moment it was like we're either going to go this way or that way. And what happened is they pushed us this way because it's central. It brings all the wealth into a few people, and they control the rest. If you were to reverse the process and make it natural, where the farmers, the people in the rural communities grew our fuel, the wealth would disperse. And that freedom was pulled from us at a time when we weren't here, and we're receiving that rip-off, and now's the time for us to turn it back. And this referendum could be the easiest way to turn that back. Get your grandmother, Rod was saying grandmothers are angry right now.
Grandmothers are angry, man.
They have nothing to lose.
Yeah,
but
they're ready to talk.
Take it out of the drug issue and say, look at the freedom they took from us. And they'll remember, because there was a day when that wasn't the case. And we can do the synthetic subversion in reverse right now if we start here in Portland. You know, just the city, make the city free, and then go to the state. But just do it.
That's right. Hey, I think we have a caller here. Welcome to the show, caller.
Hey, Paul. How you doing?
Very well.
I'd like to also say some extra things about some details about the hemp seed.
Please do.
It's somewhere between 30 and 32%
oil
protein. And it also has zero cholesterol and omega-6, omega-3, and omega-5, which are good for the heart. So in theory, people with heart patients should be given hemp oil or hemp seeds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good for your cardiovascular system, your brain. It has the DHA that your body needs.
It's a natural Viagra. I mean,
yeah.
everybody knows that.
Excuse me?
Yeah. Everybody knows that.
I didn't know
Ain't that the truth?
Oh,
I'm telling you, man.
It increases longevity.
Now I understand a lot more.
You know, it stops inflammation. It's an anti-inflammatory agent, and most aging processes have to do with inflammation. So cannabis is an anti-inflammatory that can slow the aging process, and the protein profile of the amino acids is exactly matching humans' protein needs. It's the only food out there that has all the 8 essential amino acids in the perfect balance for human health.
So then what you're saying is I should quit saying I should say the plant helps me be so.
Well, yeah, exactly.
I thought it was me.
I had marathon sex with my wife last night, and it was the best 2 minutes of her life. And I'm telling you, this was based on hemp.
At least you got a partner.
Okay, well, we have a little film clip we're going to roll, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Go ahead.
Thanks for calling.
That's 2 minutes of
Stalk's power. Thicker won't work well in tangled hemp. After binding, hemp is shocked as soon as possible to stop further retting. In 1942, 14,000 acres of fiber hemp were harvested in the United States. The goal for 1943 is 300,000 acres. Thus, hemp, Cannabis sativa, the old standby cordage fiber, is staging a strong comeback. This is Kentucky hemp going into the dryer of a mill at Versailles. In the old days, breaking was done by hand, one of the hardest jobs known to man. Now the power breaker makes quick work of it. spinning American hemp into rope yarn or twine in the old Kentucky River Mill at Frankfort, Kentucky. Another pioneer plant that has been making cordage for more than a century. All such plants will presently be turning out products spun from American-grown hemp. Twine of various kinds for tying, winding armatures, and upholsterers' work. Rope for marine rigging and towing, for hay forks, derricks, and heavy-duty tackle. Light-duty fire hose. Thread for shoes for millions of American soldiers. And parachute webbing for our paratroopers. As for the United States Navy, every battleship requires 34,000 feet of rope, and other craft accordingly. So here in the Boston Navy Yard, where cables for frigates were made long ago, crews are now working night and day making cordage for the fleet. In the old days, rope yarn was spun by hand. Today, even the rope walk is mechanized. 160 fathoms to go.
All right, that is the United States Department of Agriculture 1942 film Hemp for Victory.
Yeah.
You can watch it out there on YouTube. Just look for Hemp for Victory. And it's encouraging farmers to cultivate hemp for the war effort. We have a question online. It's what's OCTA's stance on cannabis for PTSD? You know, under OCTA, anyone will be able to grow cannabis without any license, so you won't have to get a medical permit to grow it or go into a store and buy it as long as you're over the age of 21. But it can be used as medicine. In fact, it won't be taxed as a medicine. It'll be subsidized by adults buying cannabis. So that's an answer to that question. If you have a question for us tonight, though, we're down to about 15 minutes left to go. You can call us at 503-288-4448. That's 503-288-4448. Where can people find your movie, folks? Your two movies?
Everywhere.
Everywhere.
International distribution. We're on Netflix, iTunes, Walmart, Barnes & Noble. We were talking about earlier, the theaters. You know, we would like to create an initiative. Anybody in any city, find a theater that serves food. And what Rod and I will do, and we can be either movie or both movies, but we will clear out all their concessions, and we're working with a company called Versativa as part of this. We bring in all hemp products, hemp chocolate. There won't be any Hershey's. There's Cannabis Cola. You got Orange Kush. You've got hemp beer, hemp wine, hemp vodka. There's a new California hemp vodka coming out. We pour hemp seed oil over the popcorn. There are hemp seeds that we've been hearing about that you can actually pop like popcorn. Some of these
they do that in China, I can tell you.
Right, and we're going to get those seeds, I hear. And iPick theaters, they bring blankets out for you if you're cold. We're going to bring out hemp blankets. We want to make it to where everything you experience in the movie theater is hemp-based, and the sky's the limit. I can't think of anything that a movie theater has in their concessions that we can't replace with, from chocolate to cola to anything. So find a theater in your city. Contact us through Paul or through our websites, hempstersthemovie.com and
normallifethemovie.com.
Yeah, and then we'll bring it to your city. We'll try to bring somebody in the film like Woody Harrelson, Merle Haggard, Ralph Nader, Willie Nelson, Julia Butterfly, Alex Whiteplum. We'll try to get somebody there to be a part of the Q&A, and we'll make it a presentation that anybody can come to. We'll walk out and go, I didn't know, and then they'll know. So give us a call.
So here's another way to think about it, is Louis C.K., I want to say the comedian, you know, he took a comedic stand-up piece that he did, and he said, here it is, if you all would come here and buy it from me for $5 and not BitTorrent me on it, That would be a beautiful thing. I'm not involved with the corporate, big five that are trying to do this thing. And Michael and I have talked about this, and we developed, Hempsters and Normal Life as kind of a resonance engine. So if you can imagine a tuning fork where the distributor, Cinema Libre, who distributed Oliver Stone's South of the Border, is the handle. And then one tuning fork is Normal Life, which deals with medical marijuana and marijuana. And then the other side of the tuning fork is industrial hemp. Hempsters plant the seed. If you tap it on the table, the two resonate between each other. But basically what we're looking for is we'd love you to go to Google and Google either Hempsters or Hemp movie or Normal Life or, and there will be the platforms. Everything from Netflix to Amazon.com, the list goes on. You can buy the DVD, you can stream it, you can download it, but what I'm telling you is even if you want to steal it, steal it. If you want to steal it, and show it to your friends. Show it to your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers, because a certain percentage of those people, if they like either one of the films and or both of them, they will evangelize them. They will evangelize them, I'm a broken record, through all their social networks. There's over 200 million pot smokers throughout the planet. And a big percentage of those people are interested in industrial hemp. Between the two, it's all about cannabis. So you can fight between, whether it's about marijuana or whether it's about industrial hemp. Regardless, just the main thing is that if you tell people, the message will get out there and it'll be about the cause. What do you think, Mike?
I think it's about signing the petition and we want to change everything, and it can be done through this plant. It's not just about the plant, it's about what it represents and what it can do. For example, let's debate different things about the ecology or what's going on in different environments, but the fact is there's clouds of plastic floating in the ocean right now. I mean, massive clouds that'll take up to 500 years before they're dissolved by the salt water. But hemp plastic, which is a cellulose base, melts automatically. So we're experimenting with not only having the CD jewel cases made of hemp, which they already make, hemp plastic. We're going to find out how to make the CDs and the DVDs out of hemp plastic. Vinyl is coming back. Vinyl records made out of hemp plastic. Anything
you can make with petrochemicals, you can make with hemp. There's no doubt about that.
By people signing the petition.
Only non-toxically.
Yeah, it melts in the water. You put it into the salt water and it melts. The other ones last for 500 years. Here's your chance to make a difference with just a small effort. Signing the petition is the easiest thing you can possibly do. Bring out your families and prove to them. There's a documentary out there, I don't know the name of it, but it shows about this plastic pollution that's gone to the point of massive clouds of plastic. And it's toothbrushes and things like that. I mean, it's incredible.
Trash bags.
So, make the difference by getting this going, and we'll all push together, and we can change all the plastics into hemp plastic and transform it. It can be done tomorrow.
Instead of giving our money to the petrochemical industries and the despots and monarchies in the Middle East and Nigeria and elsewhere, we'll give our money to the farmers, and they'll invest it in our local communities. We have a caller who's standing by, though. Welcome to the show, caller. Oh, they gave up there.
We have some major companies in the U.S. Whose politics run in the middle, okay, but they are willing to take things like hemp-made packing peanuts.
You can eat them.
You can eat them and sustain yourself on them. And or the takeaway boxes that when you go to a restaurant and you say, I want to take away some food, okay, they are ready, willing, and able. If people will just say, yes, this is what we want, they will go ahead and give us, Mikey and I and our friends, the purchase orders and start buying huge amounts of this stuff, and they want to make the transformation. They'll even spend the additional money to pay for it to be hemp other than not plastic. So we're right on the edge. This is the tipping point.
Well, I know I've been told by Michael that your movie A Normal Life
Yeah,
is
yeah.
now the most popular marijuana movie
In the world.
In the
Well,
world.
you
And
know,
it's
I'm
in
gonna,
the-
I'm gonna let
it had
him.
reached
I'm
that
gonna,
point.
I'm
Why
gonna
don't
let
you
him-
tell us
I'm gonna
about
let
that?
him
Because it's
tell
in
you
the
about
top
that, because I-
1,000 most
Here's
popular
the
movies.
the Internet Movie Database has a very sophisticated
IMDb.
IMDb.com has a very sophisticated way of tracking the levels of popularity or interest of films. And out of the blue, for some unknown reason, it's the people who
It
make the
reached
difference.
that
It
social
spiked.
media viral.
It went up to 875 of the most popular movies in the world. We don't know what happened. It went from 77,000 up to 875 in 1 week. And it's people responding to things like this that makes that happen. It's automatic. People take interest in things that do that. So it goes from renting a film to going in the
Watching it on the
store,
net.
watching it on the net, buying hemp chips instead of potato chips. Anything that you do reacts out there on the databases of the world. And so
Yeah, it comes back. We're living in a reputation economy. And so what is happening now is you have commodities of choice. And everything with the internet, you can almost vet somebody almost instantly. You know, back in the day, you might be 5 degrees of separation from someone. Now with the internet, you're even closer. And so if you're doing something that is positive, people vote with their credit cards and vote with their likes on Facebook, and you become a commodity of choice.
get this petition signed. It's the easiest first step. Once we do that, then the rest can follow. But get
Our
the
polls
petition
show
signed.
we can win this vote. We've got polls showing that we can win this thing with 62% popularity right now. We have a caller who's standing by, though. Welcome to the show, caller.
Good evening, gentlemen. I have a dream that someday we'll quit growing pro-inflammatory foods like wheat, barley, rye, oats, corn, and soy, which cause disease, which just creates more wealth for the medical pharmaceutical industry. And if we grew hemp, industrial hemp, currently in all the spaces now that we were growing all those crops I mentioned, plus dairy, because we can make hemp milk, and be a lot kinder to the cows, and we don't have to put Monsanto's bovine growth hormone into them to make more disgusting milk. But the point is, you mentioned inflammation earlier, and all those foods I just mentioned cause inflammatory processes in the body.
Yeah.
If you don't believe me, I could give you a
I
half
believe you. I believe you. You're right.
We know you're right.
It's that simple.
Found that Information Act. But the point is we could completely turn the healthcare crisis that we have in this country completely in the opposite direction that it's headed right now. Right now, it's just management by crisis, and they're not even managing it. And the so-called medical pharmaceutical industry, there's no money in curing anything. They've known that for a long time. That's why they're so against hemp and cannabis. And there's plenty of money to be made in managing diseases, like diabetes and all this other crap. And if you want diabetes, just consume all those foods I just mentioned, including dairy, and you will end up with diabetes and other inflammatory conditions. So grow hemp, and they should rename that old movie as Grow Hemp for Victory Against Our Disease Processes that we have going on now, or Grow Hemp for Victory in our healthcare industry, because it's just nuts what we're doing to our bodies now with the typical garbage food that we shovel down our faces, and then we expect to not have to pay $800 a month for our health care insurance. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox. Keep up the good work,
thanks for
gentlemen,
calling
and thanks
and sharing
again.
that with
Hey,
Good
Paul,
points.
I just thought of something, and it
We're
just...
down to just about 3.5 minutes.
Okay,
Go
I'll
right
make
ahead.
it really quick, okay? Oregon Health Science University, if it isn't the largest health science university on the West Coast, it's like in the top 2 or 3.
Yeah.
They have a medical marijuana program. Did you know that?
No.
Exactly. Think about that, ladies and
They were
gentlemen.
against it for so
Oregon
long.
Health
When did they
Science
add this?
University has a medical marijuana program where they provide marijuana to patients. Nobody knows about it, okay? Now,
Well, I'm going to start investigating.
when Mikey and I first did our films, granted, Merle Haggard, Willie Nelson, Ray Manzarek of the Doors, but nobody still knows about us until people start talking about it. I mean, what is the deal, Oregon Health Science University? If you're using medical marijuana up there and you're giving it to patients, why aren't you telling people? I'm just saying.
Good point.
I'm just
Good point.
saying.
We are running out of time here. I want you guys to tell people one more time, where can they find your movie at?
Netflix, iTunes, Walmart.com, Barnes & Noble, any video store.
And the website, Hempsters?
Hempstersthemovie.com or...
A Normal Life.
Hempsters, Plant the Seed, Normal Life, Google them.
Yeah.
You'll get all the platforms.
Find a theater in your town that serves food, and we'll bring the show to your city with some stars or celebrities that'll endorse it and bring out a
and
crowd.
Casper, tell us about your...
AmericanFreedomRadio.com, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Take time for hemp.
Yeah, baby.
Time for the number 4 hemp. And if you are looking for a doctor to help you get medical marijuana, or you want to get involved in our petition drive to end adult marijuana prohibition, call us here in Portland at 503-235-4606. That's 503-235-4606. That number right down there on your screen. Or look us up at hemp.org. That's H-E-M-P. I want to thank you, Michael.
They work for us.
Thank you, Casper. Thank you, Rod. Thank you, and thank you, John and Jansu. We're going to go out with their wonderful music once again and help us restore hemp. Good night.